Happy Friday, team. Welcome back. Nice to see you here. This is a new session of Trade the Data, Not the Feed. Welcome, Patrick.
Welcome, everyone. Nice to see you. Welcome.
So, what a week we had, right?
Yeah, it was an up and down. Like we always say, volatility is the currency from us traders. But to be really honest, sometimes too much volatility is too much. But that's why we have the data. So let's take a look into it, how the data can help us. So let's
Yeah.
go.
So this week we've seen something that probably we will witness once in a lifetime or maybe a couple of times. But basically, we've seen massive price swings. Obviously, the market has been dropping over the past few weeks. We saw a plus 10% on a day a couple of days ago. Yesterday, the market went down. So the question is it the dip? Are we buying the dip? Are we at the bottom? I want to position myself. So let's go and see how you can look at data instead of like using a bias and emotions and see what the data is telling us. So we can start from the dashboard and we can look at the SPX, which is of course the overall market, S&P 500. So the first thing that we want to do is look at the top and we see our Q scores here. And then, of course, we see that we're still in negative gamma. So we know what that means. It means like we're probably going to see a lot of volatility because of the way the option market works. So when we are in negative gamma, we can expect a lot of volatility. It doesn't mean that the price is just going to go down. It means that the price could move very, very drastically to one side or the other one because we are in that condition. If you want to learn more about what that means, just check us out, our guides within our section within your account, and you'll find all the documentation about positive gamma, negative gamma, and what that means. But if we look up here, the first we want to look at volatility. So historical volatility 41%, implied volatility is 31%, and we are in a very, very high IV rank. We're at 76% IV rank. So current volatility is still very high compared to the history. So that's very important to understand. And you can also see it right here when we look at our Q score. So the Q score is essentially a consensus rating. Think about it as a rating system where we score an asset based on four factors. One is option activity, volatility, momentum, and seasonality. Option activity and momentum can tell us if we are in a bullish or bearish trend. Volatility can tell us if there is wariness in the market. So if we have a very high volatility, maybe we will forecast and we will see big price swings. And then seasonality is just telling us if we are in a positive or negative seasonality based on past data. So we don't have seasonality. Seasonality is kind of neutral right now, but we're still kind of like bearish on all the other three metrics. So we have a very high volatility, very low momentum. The score goes from 0 to 5. So we are almost at 0 on the momentum side and also on the option side. If we look at positioning, we can see that the market is still tilted to a negative gamma position all the way up until 5,845. We don't have a lot of positive gamma until then. If we look at the next daily, so today's expiration and tomorrow and Monday's expiration, and also next week is going to be OPEX. So there's going to be a lot of gamma expiring next week, very important. So we can see the same kind of picture, right? So we have some positive gamma for the 14th, but overall, here we see next week on the 17th, overall we are buried in puts, all this red here. Then we can go in the matrix and we can see the same picture, right? We can see our exposure. We can see that next week about 22% of gamma is expiring on the 17th. So it's going to be a very, very important date to monitor. So we want to monitor that. And then we can also go all the way down through the chain and we can see that we are in kind of red all the way through kind of like the middle end of the year for now. Of course, things can change very quickly. The swing model is again also bearish. We have our upper band of 5,499 right here. This is on a 5 days. So if the model is successful, the price is technically should be below 5,500 in 5 days from now. And if we look at our 20 days, we have our 5,731 over the next 20 days. Uh, Here we see the success rate of the model. So if we look back historically for about 101 days, we can see basically how the swing model would have given you this data and the success rate. For us, success rate is, again, if we are able to forecast that the price of SPX will be below 5,731 in 20 days, the model was successful, right? So here you see the number of times the model was successful over the past 101 days, about almost 4 months, and very, very important. The other part is the skew. This is looking at our 25 risk reversals, so 25 delta puts and 25 delta calls. And we can see that we're still in a put bias environment. So we are here. We're almost at the maximum for the past 30 days. So we're still here. So very important. This could be a good sentiment indicator. On the other side, so we saw obviously this massive candle a couple of days ago, plus 10% on one day. But as you can see, the option score has not changed, not the option score or the momentum score. So even though we saw like a massive rebound, we're still kind of like there. So, and also let's look at the data. When we saw this very swift drop from a 5 option score to 0, this is when we started seeing kind of like this drop in the market. And of course, now we're still kind of like in a bearish level for the option data. Same thing on the momentum side. So we had a drop from a 5 momentum to a 0, almost a 0, here a 1. And this is when we start seeing kind of like the start of the downtrend. And even though the price went up, our momentum score is still here. So we still kind of like in this situation. If we look at our seasonality score, again, the seasonality has not moved. So we saw basically, again, before the drop, a change in seasonality from very positive to very negative. And this is when we saw this move here. We saw a change in seasonality here from kind of 0 to 3. And this is when we saw kind of like a rebound. And then, of course, we went all the way back. But now the seasonality is kind of still at 0. So there's no signal from the seasonality currently. So we're still there.
And Fabio, I think let's make a quick break because why we talking about this? So we was seeing, for example, the last few days, like when we have the spike on the market, like what you was showing, where the market goes up 10% and everything was crazy, and the people was thinking like, oh man, so now we can really buy the dip. So the market came overnight a little bit down. So now let's go long because it's a good time to buy. And the reason why we share this with you, all the data, is when you have a trading idea, it would be really cool if you have a second confirmation. So is your trading idea really valid based on data? Go to Mentor Q and check it out. So what are the Q scores telling you? What are the option data telling you? What are the skewers telling you? And then validate your trade idea based on data, based on quantitative data, based on options. So that helps you really to understand more about your strategy and to also save money. Because if you be on the wrong side at the moment, it could be really hurt you, no matter if you be in swing trader, if you're in position trader, if you're in day trader. The key is going with the data, go with the money. That's really at the moment the key. And this is what we was learning all the days since the market is going crazy, how important data is, Fabio.
Yeah. Yeah. And to go back, Patrick, of course, we have the Q score here. So we saw obviously the downside, but also come to our CTAs models and just look at where the liquidity is going, because these models can really help you understand, like Patrick said, if you have a trade idea, just follow the liquidity, follow where the market is going. So if we saw we see this chart, like you see that CTAs started being bearish around this area here. So as you can see, the CTA's positioning was going down and down and down on SPX and was going up and up and up on treasuries. So inverse correlated assets. So looking at also this data can help you because you want to follow the liquidity. You want to be on the right side of the market and not on the opposite side, especially during volatile times, when we see like these massive volatility spikes.
And I can tell you something about Fabio. So only one or 2 minutes about this. So normally I'm a really good trader based on my experience. I see something and I have a good institution. So I see everything is going and I know which trade I should take and which trade not. But at the moment, to be really honest, it's not like what it was before maybe the last few years for me, that it was so easy for me to figure out in which direction I should go. So I was making now a decision with myself and say, okay, let's make a challenge, Patrick. Make a challenge yourself, make your trading decisions for the next few weeks until the market is going crazy, only based on data, and see what has happened. And then you can review your trades when you're trading, like what you're trading before, trade A's or trade B. If you trade based on data, how you're getting out of the crisis. So based on data or based on what you're doing before. So at the moment, I can clearly say based on data helps me much more, because I would be also the stupid one who taking the long after the news, after everything. I would say, okay, let's go. This is a good opportunity, and let's hold a little bit longer on the trade. But to be really honest, you were taking a stupid loss. But with data, I know exactly that that's not the right time. Maybe the data tell me, oh, we should go now short, we should wait. And sometimes I can tell this also. Sometimes I'm looking to the data and it makes no sense for me. I think like, what's going on? It makes no sense. The market is going up. But then few hours later, boom, everything makes sense. So patience and trust the data, that's the key at the moment. Patience and trust the data.
Yeah, and also look at the correlation and connection. So like last couple of days when we were live, I think on Wednesday or the other week, we were looking at this, and also look at what the VIX is telling you. Look at the models on the VIX, because the VIX is going to dictate the volatility that we're going to see over the next few weeks. So if you have our swing model here, and this is showing you that by looking at the option data, the model forecasts that the price of VIX will be above 32.48 in 20 days, and you can look at the success rate. This is going to potentially tell you, okay, like I need to be very cautious because we're probably going to see a lot of volatility over the next few weeks. And monitor the levels on the VIX. I think we were showing this live, Patrick, at some point.
Yeah.
Basically, when you see a break in the VIX levels, those typically coincide with a very, very strong momentum on the opposite side on futures, on indices, and stocks.
Yeah, 100%. And as I said, so the core resistance is at the moment in the play. So look at the VIX, look at the levels, the core resistance is in the play. So I was battling that the VIX will be crushing. I was be on a good position because a few hours later the news coming out. Everything was good for me. I was making a ton of money, but it was also a little bit based on the data, because I was seeing the call resistance, I was seeing the position, and I was thinking like, hey man, this can be worse. Then we need only some news and the market will be popped. And that was what my trading idea was. I was sharing this in the pro group, by the way, and that's something what is really, really powerful. Looking to the data, understanding the data, and trade with the data.
Yeah.
And Fabio, I think also what is really powerful and to understand, so at the moment we are in a really news-driven market. So any news can come out and boom, the market is popping to one side. And we have the intraday snapshots, and we have also the summary from the snapshots. So if you be an ES trader, you can go to SPX, go to the intraday snapshot summary, and then you see the change, and you can going back into the times. So you can now understand when some news coming out, how will be this looking like in the change of the data in the options market. That's so cool. That's so powerful. So think about, based on data, we can now building our playbooks. So we can say, okay, if we see the data like this, boom, this is my playbook like this. And that's really, really cool, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, Patrick, it's not only news, but it's also like there's a lot of option activity. So the news is definitely driving the market, but when those levels are hit, the move could also be accentuated because there's going to be a lot of liquidity and a lot of like positioning. So think about uh, if we go back to the day when we had a plus 10%, think about if you were trading zero DTs options in the day, right? And basically, I think this was the day. Think about if you had like out of the money zero DTs options at the beginning of the day, right? That were worth probably nothing. If you had like call option all the way up here for expiring on the same day, from the market maker side, there's no risk when you are here, right? There's no risk because this is way far out of the money and basically most likely they're going to expire worthless. But then a news pop up and now suddenly you see these massive spikes and think about all the flows that is sitting up here that previously had no value and now is really like getting value. So from the hedging activity, that's why you also see this massive like move that we saw. So it's not only the news. The news is obviously the driver, of course, but the option flow can also accentuate those moves sometimes.
But should I say something? What I'm observing very often,
Yeah.
every time when the news coming out, we're hanging around on some critical level. I don't know why, but it's always like this. So if you see some economic data coming out, boom, where we are before the economic data, we are on some critical gamma level. And if some news coming out about tariffs or something like this, where we are now, we are on a critical gamma level. So timing, setup, and location is absolutely king, and that's in the play. So connecting everything together, what Fabio was saying, hey, timing. So we're speaking about news, setup. What is your trading setup? What is in your playbook? And then the location. This is what Fabio was saying about the levels where we are now. So connect all the dots together. Now it's the perfect time, champs, to master all the data because we are in a really good market condition to prove if data is right or if data is wrong.
Yeah. And let us know, guys, if you have questions. Post it in the comment here. And as a trader, Patrick, like how are you preparing for next week? So like what do you expect for next week and how are you preparing yourself?
Okay, so I think not for next week because this would be completely stupid because we are now on the weekend. But there was something what I was learning. So you have to observe and you have to watch the news over the weekend.
Mhm.
Because if you miss maybe only the Sunday news, man, it's like crazy. Over the weekend, so many stuff can happen. So that's what I would be doing. So focus on today. So the day is not closed. So we have today, I think, really good opportunities. So Chinese was raising also the tariffs. So what is the reaction from Donald Trump? So did we know it? Did we know the reaction from the market? I don't know. We have also earnings. So how this would be affect now, everything comes together. How do people position themselves before the weekend? Did they taking profits or did they buying the dip? What's they doing? We have no idea. We can look into the data. It will be helping us to figure it out. But today I will only focus on today, and for Monday, how I would prepare myself over the weekend, look into the news. So before the market open on Sunday, the futures market, figure out the news for 30 minutes. Go on the news services, go on X, what the people talking about, maybe watch some Vox interviews or CNBC interviews, what the big guys telling us. So that's my preparation, to be really honest. And then let's go.
Yeah.
Because I think at the moment, everything is about the news. The data helping us for the timing, setup, and location. But at the end, we need the news because the market is waiting for a reaction that the market can go again crazy to the upside or fall down. So the market is waiting for something.
Yeah.
And we have to wait for the answer. And by the way, I will not be the stupid one who missed this. And if there's something, Fabio, I don't know if you was seeing this, and also the people who are in the chat, maybe this is something what can help you. When Chinese is releasing the data, if they respond to the tariffs from Donald Trump, it's always 4 p.m. Eastern time. 4 p.m. Eastern time, they giving out the response. So it was always 4 p.m.
Nice.
So if you be in a London session or if you be in European, take care of 4 p.m. Eastern time and wait until the reaction, maybe show up few minutes before 4 p.m. and wait for the response, and then you get the price action.
Yeah.
So this is something what I was observing. So that's always like observing and learning and find out how you can figure out everything with data, with news. This is how you make at the moment money in the market, to be on the right side.
Yeah.
And the stupid thing on Donald Trump, as a trader, I like Donald Trump. I have no political statement for him. As a trader, I like him because he gives us good opportunities. But what is really stupid on Donald Trump, he gives us the information over the day. So there's no time when he say, okay, at, I don't know, 2 p.m. Eastern time, I will telling this. No, he's a free mind.
Yeah.
He's talking every day about something. But on the Chinese, we were seeing this every time, 4 p.m. Eastern, boom, the answer for America is out. That's cool. There we can predict ourselves for this.
Yeah.
And this is something what we should looking for. How we can predict ourselves.
Yeah, makes sense. So 4 p.m.
Yes, 4 p.m.
All right, guys.
You can sleep. You can. As a European, you have not to trade the overnight session. No worries. There will nothing happen. 4 p.m. You can sleep. You can drink coffee. You can take breakfast, sitting on your desk and enjoy the price action. 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
10 a.m. morning European time.
All right. And then, Patrick, maybe do you want to mention what we're going to do next week? We're going to have some changes on our schedule. So I think it's going to be very key for our premium members. I'll let you explain what we're going to do, and then also for our pro members.
Yes, of course. So we are starting with weekly live trading sessions also for premium members. So it will be start every Monday. We will starting at 2 p.m. Eastern time to 4 p.m. Eastern time. So we're trading together the power hour session. So you can look over the shoulder. You can ask any question you may have doing the price action. This would be really cool. This would be fun. And then for the pros, so what will be changing? It will be changed that we're adding also live trading sessions, that we have every single day some live trading session. If you be a pro member, you have now every single day some live trading session and a weekly mentorship session. We call it the weekly roundtable. So this will be also there. So that's what we're doing. So we increase our time for you. And yeah, because we think at the moment, we have to support you more and more, giving you more and more value, because we want that you be successful, then we become successful as Mentor Q. And that's the key. So we understanding working as a team, strong as a team, and that's why we increase the value so much.
Yeah, and for premium members, if you guys look at our share calendar, just click here and you'll be able to look at the videos directly through the Academy. So you can connect on Monday at 2 p.m. We'll be streaming live from the Academy from here. Yes, and all the links are in the calendar as well. So
the only Monday where we not live will be the Monday after the Monday, because in Europe it's Easter Monday.
yeah.
So there I will be not available. But after this, so we starting every single Monday together for the premiums.
Nice. Will be very
exciting. And if you be a pro member, so directly after the live trading session, we starting with the group mentorship. So this is also every single Monday. So from 4 p.m. until we say, okay, it's enough. So we are done. So that's a part. So, and if you want to trade the full week with us, so then you can switch to the pro group. And in the pro group, we will trade the rest of the week.
Yeah.
That's right. I think it's very powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see if we get some questions. Let us know if you have questions on this. But if you are a premium member, just go through the Academy or follow the link. The live session is on Discord. You'll be able to click on this video, and then on Monday you'll be able to stream it live from here. So very, very easy. All right. We have a question from Gregor. Thank you so much, Gregor. Thank you. So to convert the levels, if you want, you can do it with the indicator. If you need the text, then you will need to create it yourself. So you will need to do the conversion. But with the indicator, you can easily convert from SPX to DAX, for example, and then just do it through the indicator. Yeah. Hope that answers your question, Gregor. All right. So thank you guys for joining us. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day and obviously a good weekend. Next week is going to be very busy. And if you follow us next week, we are going to have a lot of sessions. So we're going to start on Monday with our macro session right here. Then we're going to do our daily SPX on Tuesday and Thursday. And then on Thursday, we're going to have another live session with Ryan, where we're going to go over volatility strategies. And then, of course, we're going to talk about tariff with Tim and a special guest on Wednesday. And then we'll be back. And then nothing Friday. Friday is Easter Friday. So we're going to take a day off, and then we'll be back the following week.
Yes. So have a good one, everyone. Have a good weekend. And think about Friday is always capital preservation. So don't overtrade. Don't take too much margin in the market at the moment. It's Friday. We want to have all a really good weekend. So enjoy the weekend and see you soon.
Thank you. Have a good weekend, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.